country had somebody running it that has an idea about money, where we have $20 trillion in debt and our country's a mess. You know, it's one thing to have $20 trillion in debt and our roads are good and our bridges are good and everything's in great shape. Our airports are like from a third world country. You land at LaGuardia, you land at Kennedy, you land at LAX, you land at Newark, and you come in from Dubai and Qatar and you see these incredible, you come in from China, you see these incredible airports, and you land, we've become a third world country. So the worst of all things has happened. We owe $20 trillion and we're a mess. We haven't even started. And we've spent $6 trillion in the Middle East. And we have a country that needs new roads, new tunnels, new bridges, new airports, new schools, new hospitals. And we don't have the money because it's been squandered on so many of your ideas.
The fact.
Brothers and sisters, before we start talking, I know the president talking, it's something to me, the president is upset, very upset, very upset. And guys, it's a lot of things going on. And I want to say that I don't believe 4 years would be enough for him to do everything he has to do. Guy, I mean, I'm not going to do a long video, but I'm going to do a short video. Before we even start the video, I just get the president talk before I get the video going. Guy, once again, I want you guys to know that if that's the first time you enter to my channel, guy, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. Guy, I had a membership also. If you have to join my membership, it's not be a big deal. You support me, I will support you back. So guys, don't forget again, share, like, and subscribe to my channel. That's the first time you enter the channel. Mesdames et messieurs, bonjour ou bien bonsoir, ça dépend du côté ou pour écouter vidéo ou bien ou pour bailler vidéo on tient attention avant que ou monter sur chaîne là, c'est pour la première fois ou découvrir chaîne là pas oublier abonner avec chaîne là, banon anti like et quitte un petit commentaire d'une qui soit pensée. Il semble que président américain il est très fâché, en pile question à poser, et nous connaissons, nous saute parler de combien d'argent, et puis il y a en dette, puis il y a doué, il parlait de trillion, $20 trillion, something like that. It's a big money, guy. I can't even remember that number. So therefore, he's very upset. Why he's upset? Because there's a lot of questions being asking him, what's going on, and everything like that, guy. And then also, guy, we're gonna go to. There's a lot of issue with immigration, and then there's a guy they sent back to El Salvador, and then the president say the administration say they've been sending him out by mistakenly, and then you guys, I'm not going to translate that for you anybody, so you guys going to hear it for yourself. Pas oublier, et ça pour la première fois, abonnez avec channel là, bon thumbs up. If that's the first time you enter to my channel, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, and share, and let me know what you think. Guys, send me a question. I will respond to your question, guys. Any question you have, I will respond to it. I'm not a politician, but I will respond to your question. I'm a YouTuber, guy. Remember that. And there's a lot of people who send me questions, ask me a lot of questions. It's not naive, but it's not nice to ask the question, but I'm not going to answer it. But, guys, please, I'm a YouTuber. I'm just trying to do YouTube just like you. It's not because I'm doing YouTuber, a lot of them with the President Donald Trump, and that means, oh, I'm Trump, I'm this and this. Guy, it's not that, guy. YouTuber, you do YouTube where you think your channel might be grow and people might be support you. Thank you so much, guy. Again, don't forget to share and like and subscribe to my channel. Let's go and listen to what the President Donald Trump gonna say. I don't know about what, but you listen to it, guy. Ciao, ciao. Don't forget, share and like and subscribe. Let's go, President Trump. Let's go. What you doing?
1,088 murderers came into our country. We have to get them out. We're getting them out. 11,088. Of that number, half committed murder on more than two people. And this is what they allowed into our country with their open border policy of lunacy. 11,088 murderers came into our country. We have to get them out. We're getting them out. 11,088. Of that number, half committed murder on more than two people. And this is what they allowed into our country with their open border policy of lunacy. 11,088 murderers came into our country. We have to get them out. We're getting them out.
I make sure everybody listen to it, guy. So the president say you have over whatever he say. I don't have to repeat the number.
Committed murder on more than two
Everybody
people,
here.
more than two
So,
people.
guy, therefore, that means he's
And this
like
is what they allowed into our
immigration. There's a
country
lot of
with the
issue with
open border
immigration this day.
policy
A
of
lot of
releasing
issue, guys. Lot of issue, guy.
11,088
So I let you listen to it, guy.
murderers came into our
Leave me a
country. We
comment.
have to
Let
go
me know
back.
what
We're
you
getting
think, guy.
that
Don't forget,
11,088
guy. A lot of you guys
of that
doesn't
number,
subscribe to
half.
my the meeting with the president of El Salvador, with the President Trump today. It's a meeting, and if you look at him, he's right here. It's I don't know, maybe your left. It's El Salvador president right there. And next president of the United States, Donald Trump. Next vice president. Next is Michael Rubio. And there's a lot of people in his cabinet is there, guy. So today I'm going to let you listen to the guy. I'm not here to translate. I'm not here to translate. I want you guys to listen to it yourself. I'm trying to bring it to you. Please, when I do that, guy, don't forget, guys, subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up, like, and send me a question. I would answer the question also, guy. I always don't start any question sent to me. If I can answer it, I'm not going to answer it. But if you send me a question, I would answer your question, guy. Guy, I'm going to let you listen to everything what they have to say. And I know a lot of people, the judge say there's one guy, they got to send them back. And then the U.S. Supreme Court, the highest court of the United States, said the same thing. I want you to listen to it, guy. I'm not going to tell you what he say or what she say. You're going to listen to it yourself, guy, and make your own judgment, guy. Let's go, guy. Don't forget, once again, if it's the first time you enter to my channel, please share, like, and subscribe. If you have to join my membership, guy, join my membership also, guy. What's the big deal? If you does that for me, I will do the same thing for you, guy. Thank you so much, guy. Let's go and listen to it, guy. Let's go. Oh.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have a friend of mine because we went through this together and got along very well for my entire period of time.
Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Jodi a moi senti son un plaisir pour moi rencontrer avec un monde qui ses amis moi connais très très longtemps, un jeune garçon président pays El Salvador et ça président américain dit c'est comme ça il dit monsieur ses amis il connaît très très longtemps et son plaisir jodi a pour le chita ensemble avec lui en côté.
So I knew him as a very young man. Now he's just a young man. And he's done a fantastic job. Mr. President, it's an honor to have you. Thank you. You're doing incredibly for you.
Moi, te reconnaître président Salvador depuis le tout jeune petit garçon jusqu'à maintenant, il semblait avec un jeune petit monde toujours. Son plaisir pour me rencontrer avec aujourd'hui, monsieur président Salvador. En côté.
Country, and we appreciate working with you because you want to stop crime, and so do we. And it's very, very effective. And I want to just say hello to the people of El Salvador and say they have one hell of a president. Okay, and I mean that, and I know him well. I know him as a very young man, Marco, even younger than you. You know, he started pretty young.
Président, dis-moi connaître monsieur depuis le tout jeune petit garçon, très jeune. Lui l'a parlé avec secrétaire d'État qui c'est Marco Rubio. L'a dit Marco, il reconnaît depuis très très longtemps depuis le tout jeune petit garçon. En écouter comment bagayo a sorti je ne veux dire.
He'll always be younger. Young at heart. But I want to thank you for the great job you're doing. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to be here in the Oval Office with the President and leader of the free world. We're very happy and we're very eager to help.
Président Salvador a dit, nous sommes très contents pour m'chita ensemble avec un président dans une plus gros pays dans le monde là. C'est un plaisir pour me lancer ensemble avec vous. Merci beaucoup. C'est le président Salvador qui a parlé avec le président américain.
We know that you have a crime problem, a terrorism problem that you need help with. And we're a small country, but if we can help, we will do it. And we actually...
Ça fait rire, mais nous pas rire pour ça, parce que le président Salvador a dit pays là sont un pays qui est très petit, très petit, mais qu'on est Américain a un problème et terroriste qui a un problème et un pile problème criminel, mais elle dit pays là capable d'aider Américain dans sa cap passé yo, il est très petit et il dit même démocrate bénéficier dans help livré by pays aux États-Unis avec nouveau président américain.
Turned the murder capital of the world, that was the journalists call it, right? Murder capital of the world into the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. And, you know, sometimes they say that we imprisoned thousands. I like to say that we actually liberated millions. So, you know, like,
It's very good. Who gave him that line? Do you think I can use that?
and in fact, Mr. President, you have 350 million people to liberate. Yeah. But to liberate 350
Monsieur, en tout cas, Monsieur le Président américain, on a 250 millions combien de monde pour libérer, ça arrive pour frio en bas main et comment dire, ou connaît monde qui a rentré dans border yo et monde qui illégal dans le pays. Le président Salvador a dit président, on a tout le monde ça pour libérer, nous capable d'eau, il dit comme ça que sous un pays ou mener pays ou pas qu'à la pays n'importe janvier, faut que pays a une discipline. Et ça me d'accord avec n'importe quel pays dans le monde là on président diriger sauf que nous parler de la canon qui pas malgré tout président malgré tout leader haïtien yo voyage dans le monde entier il y a tout côté dans le monde là mais nous pas un leader haïtien qui pour camper pour le dire américain non et nous besoin pour aider nous nous besoin tout histoire expliquer comment ancien héros haïtien yo comment ont aidé américain bataille pour gagner l'indépendance que je dis à mais Haïti un grand pays premier pays noir dans le monde là qui fait un travail extraordinaire par un pays qui a une histoire pays d'Haïti qui libéré esclaves après avoir entré aux États-Unis et spécialement à Louisiana nous pensons qu'on culture même avec culture haïtienne et parce que même carnaval là même danse presque même manger pour nous te retirer blanc français dans Louisiana pour nous être capable de remettre avec américain et nous te supporter financièrement aussi mais Haïti chéri je dis en nous écouter le président Salvador Haïti chéri est-ce qu'il a prêté comme ça est-ce que bon Dieu pas dit un mot pour Haïti et peuple haïtien ils vont côté en pile nous-mêmes haïtiens de côté pour nous relayer si pour nous relayer en l'air si pour nous relayer mais nous connaissons seul bon Dieu nous capable relayer pour secours pour peuple haïtien parce que mais tu mets ces gangs dans le pays d'Haïti si vous pensez haïtien c'est Haïti pas pays yo parce que l'autre pays quand vous aller mon appelé veut courir quitter caille mon nan marron en écouter président El Salvador qui bail président américain si Paul comment le capable aider en écouter mais Haïti ne va pas avoir monde pour aider nous et avec ti monsieur qui dit c'est gang il va diriger pays en écouter
50 million people, you have to imprison some. You know, that's the way it works, right? You cannot just, free the criminals and think crime is going to go down magically. You have to imprison them so you can liberate 300.
Président Salvador a dit, président américain, on va gagner 250 millions combien de monde qui est légal dans le pays, les immigrants. Pas immigrants non, monde qui illégal, criminel illégal dans le pays et puis pour prendre la gueule dans la rue, et puis pour pays pour diriger ou pas qu'à diriger pays comme ça, il faut que pays a gagne on l'autre façon, on l'autre méthode, on l'autre principe pour diriger pays ou pas qu'à la criminel dans pays qui ba pays au problème tant que Haïti criminel c'est dans la rue, criminel dans micro et il fait loi qui pas dans micro dit ça ou pas vle en côté président Salvador
50 million Americans that are asking for the end of crime and the end of terrorism. And it can be done. I mean, you're doing it already. And I'm sure that people have seen the change in the streets. A long way to go because you're just initiating your second term. But it's clear that, with the numbers at the border, even in Democrat-run cities, they get a help from the work you're doing. So I'm really happy to be here, honored, and eager to help.
Et ça t'a dit ça sur un président tu pays très petit tant que Salvador qui campé il dit américain nous capable d'aider avec criminels yo et on commence à faire il dit tout le monde dans le pays va bénéficier ça qu'a fait dans le pays aux États-Unis. Dans 2 semaines qui va venir, nous va commencer à changement dans le pays. Un président Salvador, nous pensons qu'il nous c'est pays peuple salvadorien, les capables de se sentir fiers du président. Même gens l'ont entré en Burkina Faso, un jeune garçon de 38 ans, et nous avons campé qui dit pays là, pas tourner en l'abattoir, et pays là. Là, on monde ou vle venir ou mettre venir ou a aider l'abdou qui ça pour faire ou a gain limite. C'est seul pays d'Haïti mon entrée gens ou vle, pas bon visa mais haïtien pas avoir à aucun côté pour pas gain visa. Même gens américain qu'on y a, il ba un paquet de pays en Afrique visa. Yo ka venir ici sans visa mais Haïti pas là-dedans, Haïti qui tout prêt avec pays américain presque 30 à 35 minutes. Merci tout le monde de nos côtés.
Well, we had a terrible thing happen. We had an administration that allowed people to come in freely into our country from not only South America, but from all over the world. Many from the Congo in Africa, Asia, all over the world, Europe, rough parts of Europe. And they came from prisons, and they came from mental institutions, and they came from gangs, and the gangs of Venezuela and other places. And hundreds of thousands and even millions of them came. 21 million people altogether, but many of the people that came, just a tremendous percentage of them were criminals, in some cases violent.
Soit regardez pour le président américain, il a pile dans main, il a pile dans main pour ta faire, pile dans main pour ta faire. Est-ce que 4 ans a suffi pour le président américain pour ta faire ça pour faire 4 ans, est-ce que ça suffi en pile dans main, le sous domaine immigration, sous domaine déportation, tout l'autre bagaille, en pile bagaille dans main. Mes amis, pas oublier, c'était pour la première fois, on parle de découvrir Chanel là, pas oublier entrer sur Chanel là, pour nous abonner avec Chanel là. Ban nous un petit thumbs up et quitte un petit commentaire pour nous faire nous connaître est-ce que qui sont pensés de ça qui passé actuellement surtout nous connaît une date malgré nous tendez gon juge qui était constat camper et président américain sur domaine immigration le 24 avril nous pensons le dit la voyez tout le monde qui vient dans programme humanitaire parole sur président Biden non était dit tout le monde ça la voyez illégal dans pays malgré gon juge je crois on juge dans New York ou bien dans Boston qui te dit que il pas d'accord ça qu'a fait là bagarre là gens confuse l'on parle de monde qui illégal est-ce que monde qui vient dans programme Biden yo est-ce que monde ça yo illégal nous connaît immigration tu ba yo un statut pour 2 ans pour faire dans pays après 2 ans ça qu'a font l'autre bagarre peut-être qu'a venu légal dans pays qu'a mettre tête yo est-ce que monde ça yo illégal c'est ça je l'a dit est-ce qu'il campil ou bien est-ce qu'il pas campil en nos côté président américain. Guys, once again, if it's not the first time you enter my channel, don't forget to share, like, and give me a thumbs up, and leave me a comment. I answer questions, guys. Any question you have, send it to me. I will answer your question, guys. Don't forget to share, and like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, guys. Ciao, ciao. Let's go.
Go back to what we have to do. The markets have been very strong once they got used to it, but we were losing $2 billion a day. There's no company big like this, but this is the biggest deal ever made. Now we're making $3 billion a day. He grew up well in the last 5 years.
Do you support an extension for nationals of El Salvador under temporary protected status?
Do you plan to ask him?
Let's hear the question from this very low-rated anchor at CB.
Do you plan to ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported? The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you
mistakenly deported?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, 2 courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it. meaning provide a plane.
So will you return him,
And
President
you
Bukele?
are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, could you just also respond to that question? Because, it's asked by CNN, and they always ask it with a slant, because they're totally slanted, because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also, please?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As 2 immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, rapes little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan
But
to
the
ask for
Supreme
anything
Court is
to get
asking
it back?
to.
Is
And
that
what was the ruling in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0
In our favor.
in our favor against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual at El Salvador's sole discretion was sent back to our country, that we could deport him.
So it's clear for everybody. You listen to it, and I know everybody been talking about it. They gotta bring the guy back, mistakenly deported, mistakenly sent back to his country, and then now what hypocrite? Now they say he's a citizen of El Salvador. It's up to the president of El Salvador to send him back. The El Salvador say he don't have no power to bring him back and everything that. So that's all this thing here. So the Supreme Court, the judge will ask him to come back. The Supreme Court say no. The Second Court don't have no power to do
How
that.
can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Exactly.
Releasing inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country.
We could deport him a second time.
Well,
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked
¿Usted lo
President
liberaría,
Bukele,
Presidente
what is
Bukele?
can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposedly not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's only
How can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like, if I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
So you can release him inside El Salvador.
Yeah, but I'm not releasing. I mean, we're not very fond of releasing terrorists into our country. I mean, we just turned the murder capital of the world into the safest country of the Western Hemisphere, and you want us to go back into releasing criminals so we can go back to being the murder capital of the world? No, that's not going to happen.
Wow.
Well, they'd love to have a criminal, released into
I mean, there's a fascination.
They would love it. But
Yeah.
Wow.
these are sick people.
What is your reaction to this announcement, sir, and how will this positively benefit Americans across the entire country?
Well, it's one of the biggest announcements you'll ever hear, because NVIDIA, as you know, controls almost the entire sector, which is one of the most important sectors in the world, between chips and semiconductors and everything else. And they're the biggest. And the other biggest we already have coming in and spending $300 billion, as you know. They announced 2 weeks ago. But NVIDIA is so highly respected. And this was an announcement that a lot of people, I knew it was going to happen but not to the extent that it happened, because they get you on anything. But that NVIDIA, it's one of the great companies of the world, modern, super modern companies, controls segments that nobody, sort of controls the world in a sense, and they're coming in here in the biggest way with hundreds of billions of dollars, not like millions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, and I'm honored by it. And I want to thank Jensen and
the antibiotics that we give to our kids, to the weapons that we actually need to fight a war. If God forbid we had to fight a war, we don't make enough of that stuff. And so President Trump ran explicitly on changing that. Yes, as the president mentioned, caused a little bit of disruption in the market, but I actually think over the long term, workers are going to benefit, stocks are going to go up, American businesses are going to benefit as we reinvest and reindustrialize our country.
And the auto workers and the Teamsters and all of the unions, not traditionally Republican. Who else?
Are those exemptions on electronics?
You said yesterday that you're making a decision on Iran very quickly. What do you mean by that? Is that a decision to strike Iran?
Or? Their problem very quickly. Iran wants to deal with us, but they don't know how. They really don't know how. We had a meeting with them on Saturday. We have another meeting scheduled next Saturday. I said, that's a long time. That's a long time. So I think they might be tapping us along. But Iran has to get rid of the concept of a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. He can't have a nuclear weapon. Nobody can have. We can't have anybody having nuclear weapons. We can't have nuclear weapons. And I think they're tapping us along because we're so used to dealing with stupid people in this country. And I had Iran perfect. You had no attacks to do business with the United States of America. And those ships disappeared from that harbor so quickly. China, let me just tell you this. I don't blame China. I don't blame Vietnam. I see the meeting today. Is that wonderful? That's a lovely meeting. The meeting, like trying to figure out how do we screw the United States of America. Don't forget, the European Union was formed to do just that. The European Union was formed to hurt the United States and on trade. And they get us on NATO because they don't pay their bills. But now, since I got involved, they have been paying their bills. I took in over $600 billion for NATO. Nobody took in anything. I mean, they were all delinquent. They had 8.
Guy, once again, so I think the video going to be in right there. And I bring it to you. I bring everything to you, and then you make your own judgment. You tell me, let me know what you think about all this thing going on in the world. And do you believe 4 years would be enough for President Trump to finish all the stuff he try to do? And guy, I don't think so. So therefore, guy, if you once again, if that's the first time you enter to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and leave me a comment and send me a question. I will answer your question also. And so I see you on the next video. Mesdames et merci beaucoup du fait que vous pouvez prendre un petit patience pour tendre vidéo, bien pour garder vidéo à côté, aller pas en côtoyer dans n'importe quel pays. Et pas oublier l'on monter sur channel là, bon un petit thumbs up et abonner avec channel là. Et nous avons membership tout, sous support nos membership, et puis nous voyons ça nous-mêmes, nous retourner à nous-mêmes tout. C'est comme ça pour nous avancer dans YouTube, c'est une supporter l'autre. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. So I think we'll be set. Yeah, 9-0 on favor President of the United States. So everybody should know that. So it will favor nobody. Okay, guys, I don't want to make the video.
We have another meeting scheduled next Saturday. I said, that's a long time. That's a long time. So I think they might be tapping us along. But Iran has to get rid of the concept of a nuclear weapon. They cannot have a nuclear weapon. He can't have a nuclear weapon. Nobody can have. We can't have anybody having nuclear weapons. We can't have nuclear weapons. And I think they're tapping us along because we're so used to dealing with stupid people in this country. And I had Iran perfect. You had no attacks. You would have never had October 7th in Israel, the attack by Hamas, because Iran was broke. They were stone cold broke. when I was president, and I don't want to do it. I want them to be a rich, great nation. The only thing is, one thing, simple. It's really simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And they got to go fast because they're fairly close to having one. And they're not going to have one. And if we have to do something very harsh, we'll do it. And I'm not doing it for us, I'm doing it for the world. And these are radicalized people.